Something that concerns me in today's society is how so many people are so fixated on blame. They want to blame everyone. They want to blame politicians, Republicans, Democrats. They want to blame the CDC. They want to blame the government for everything. Maybe you want to blame your boss, your spouse, your neighbor, your friends, your family. Blame is running rampant in today's society. The problem is that blame prevents change. It prevents change. When you're focused on blaming others, you're not taking a look at yourself. You're not reflecting on how you might be part of the problem. You're focused on how everyone else is causing a mess in your life. So why do people not want to take responsibility? Why do they choose blame over change? They choose blame because many of them have fear and insecurity. Maybe they fear losing power or control. Maybe they fear losing status or wealth if they were to take ownership and responsibility. Maybe they have tremendous insecurities, and they might not show it on the outward profile, but inwardly they might have a lot of insecurities. They might not want to be humiliated in front of others, so they blame as they protect themselves. It's a self-protection. They point the finger at others so that no one gets close enough to them to see their own faults, their own weaknesses. But for a lot of people, the reason they blame is because they don't want to change. As I said, blame prevents change. But blame causes tremendous hurt and anger and bitterness and resentment. It actually polarizes us. And that's what's happening in today's society. And it's what's happening in our marriages. Blame prevents couples from making differences, making changes, and actually growing together. I don't know if you know this, but the divorce rate for first marriages is about 45 to 50%. For second marriages, it goes up to about 60 to 62%. And for third marriages, it goes up to 70%. Now, why is that? Well, I believe one of the reasons that those statistics are so incredibly high when you go on to your third marriage is because that person is convinced that they haven't been with the right person. They're trying to find the right person. And they never take a look at themselves. They never reflect on what they might have done wrong in this relationship, how they might have failed in the relationship. They just blame the other person and assume that it's all the other person's fault. They find in the second marriage that some problems that arose in the first marriage now arise in the second, and then maybe in the third. They didn't take ownership or responsibility. It's kind of a pet peeve of mine, and I'm not suggesting that I don't blame, because I do. We all do it at times. But I try really hard to take ownership and responsibility when I've messed up, when I've made a mistake, and I try to apologize. That's one of the first things that you can do, is apologize when you've done something wrong. Also, accept that you don't have all the answers and you're not always right. Be personally responsible for your actions. Be accountable. Take ownership. It makes a huge difference in relationships and in life. The other thing that's so important is not just accept responsibility, not just tell people, hey, listen, I'm really sorry about that. I made a mistake. I messed up. But have a plan. Have an action plan that you're going to take so that you don't continue to mess up. I'm going to do things differently, and this is how I'm going to do it differently, because I don't want to keep making the same mistakes over and over again. have a game plan. Also, when it comes to blame, why don't you substitute blame with acceptance, with compromise, compassion, sensitivity to what the other person might be feeling or thinking. It takes a lot of energy and a lot of time and sometimes even money to focus on other people's problems, to blame other people. Use that energy, use that time to reflect on yourself. Now that we're starting a new year, take stock of yourself and look at things that you can do better, that you can do differently, and create an action plan and implement it. Be intentional about it. Don't just talk about it, but actually take action. That's my challenge for you, is that 2021 is a time of change. And instead of focusing on what you want the world to do differently, what you want this country to do differently, what you want your government to do differently, focus on what you're going to do differently. Because that's what you have control over. Focus on changing yourself. Until next time, Dr. Tony Ferretti signing out.